Good morning, my friends. Please excuse my lamp. It seems to have positioned itself like that, and I need an Allen key to fix it, and I don't have the right size of an Allen key. This video is kindly sponsored by Skillshare. More about them later. It is a Monday afternoon. It's just after 12 and I have finally gotten my life in order this morning. I woke up feeling really dizzy and gross. I'm recovering from an eye infection. There was a sty in my eye. It's a bit better today, but yesterday I slept the entire day. I have to hang up my laundry. It's sitting here out of view. I am teaching English, and my brother and I are organizing our trip to Zambia today. And I'm doing an apartment viewing because I would like to purchase an apartment. So we'll see how that goes. Welcome, join me for a day in my life. Can I just say, how sweet is my dad? He got me this little succulent that looks like a heart. And it's living very nicely alongside all of my other plants. This one needs a bit of sun though. And it's just so sweet, it makes me so happy. It is 12:30 and I'm teaching English to a new student who lives in Singapore. I'm teaching English in half an hour, but I feel like I will be able to teach better if my space is just clean, so I'm gonna be cleaning my laundry up. I feel like laundry is the one thing that never, ever finishes. I have to just keep this laundry rack out all the time because as soon as I'm done with one load, the other one comes. Never-ending laundry. Okay, but how cute is this little modest swimsuit for my trip to the waterfall? I don't like wearing revealing swimsuits, so it has a little skirt. Isn't it sweet? And it was like $100 in South African rand, which is like $6, $5. It's a steal. I can finally put these winter jammies away because spring has sprung and it's very hot. Actually embarrassing how much of a mess things can get in just over one weekend. Oops. Huh, more laundry, would you look at that? It is surprisingly motivating having a camera while I clean, because I'm like, I cannot slack off, I gotta clean. So my air fryer is washed, which is good news. See how I do another load of laundry right after doing the other one? Very demure, very cutesy. The tap water in my city, so I usually get these 5-liter bottles and then I'll just refill it once or twice. The refills are like a quarter of the price, a fourth of the price. So it's much cheaper to refill these at like a water place. But I'm gonna refill this now and maybe buy myself some flowers because they are so pretty. And it's my last week here before I travel and I have some students coming, so I just want to make my apartment look more pretty. There's this beautiful thing about being neurodivergent called time blindness. And I was like, I have plenty of time to go fill up my water. No, I have 3 minutes until I'm teaching English. So I'm rushing home now so that I can be in time for my lesson because I don't understand how time works. I'm late. I go. Okay. Nice to meet you. How are you? Oh, Suzanne! Hi! Enjoy. 안녕하세요.
In Singapore from last year.
Okay, great. So let's work on this sentence. Very good, because it's past tense. I graduated from an art
From
university. Do you know why we say an art university, not art university?
because of English.
Yes. So when you say... I just finished tutoring English. It was really nice. The student is so sweet. But it's been a really long time since I've taught English. I'm just so used to teaching Korean and Japanese that explaining English, I'm like, why is it the way it is? Whereas like if you've learned a second language, you know the grammar rules, you know why it is. But something like English that, well, one of my home languages, it's like, I don't know why it is the way it is, it just is. And this is the perpetual question of should you take lessons from a native speaker or not? And I enjoy taking lessons from fluent speakers, but not necessarily native speakers, because they've been through the process of learning it, which is why I find it easier to teach Korean than teach English. I don't know if that makes sense, but if you've been through that, let me know in the comments. I'm so hungry now. It is 2 p.m. Yeah, it's 10 past 2. I need food, and I don't feel like eating chicken strips again today. Oops, beans everywhere. Okay. Ugh, these are not fresh.
Bruh.
Should I add the beans to the eggs? Yes. Beans will go to...
I get to talk to her. I'll never get to.
I know how unsure you were, but still, I proposed to you.
Just got one more job rejection. Woohoo! I received yet another rejection for a job application. It just seems that the tech industry, like for the past 2 years or so, is not doing very well. This time the reason was because I don't live in the EU, which is fair. I mean, visa sponsorships and stuff. I'm thinking it could be worthwhile to upskill myself, take some classes on maybe improving HTML, CSS, JavaScript, basic coding things. I've been working on my, sorry, I'm playing with my clip, that's annoying. I've been working on my Webflow portfolio, and I do find Webflow to be a bit of a learning curve. So I think that's where I should start with upskilling. So on that note, I'm going to be taking some classes to improve Webflow because I want to build my portfolio by myself. I don't want to use like a template or a portfolio builder. So I've had it on Webflow for about 2.5 years now, and I haven't really improved it, and it's looking a little crusty. But Webflow is quite a learning curve for me. So I'm going to take some classes on Skillshare on how to improve, or basically how to build on Webflow. As I was building my website, I realized I am not good at using Webflow and there's much for me to learn. So I have decided to upskill. While I am resting from a full-time career, I will be using some classes on Skillshare to learn a lot more about Webflow. So thank you very much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives, and there are thousands of classes you can check out, led by industry pros across film, illustration, design, freelance, productivity, tech, AI, and more. On Skillshare, there are learning paths, and these are hand-picked classes that are meant to be taken in order, and they build on each other to reinforce lessons. Learning paths are available in a range of experience levels and a variety of categories, including design, productivity, creative freelance, software like Procreate and Blender, marketing, and more. The particular class that I'm taking on Skillshare is called Webflow Essentials, and it is hosted by Daniel Scott, who is an Adobe certified trainer. It's really professionally made. There are 117 lessons, which is about 17 hours of learning content. So I hope by the end of this, I will be much better at using Webflow. In particular, it has helped me understand a little bit more about hosting because I self-host my site on Webflow. Plus, there are some shortcuts. I didn't even know Webflow had shortcuts.
The next one is super awesome. It's the Find Everything shortcut.
There are also some exciting improvements on Skillshare, including a revamped class system and 3 new topics. These are creative careers, creative inspiration, and innovation and AI. If you're a new member on Skillshare, you will be asked to share a little bit about your interests, and from there, Skillshare immediately surfaces classes that are tailored to your goal. The first 500 people to use my link in the description will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare, so get started today. Like, am I ready to go back to working full-time? I enjoy working for myself now, teaching English, teaching other languages, doing content creation, etc. But obviously, that's not as financially stable as having a career, a full-time job. I feel like I recovered quite well from my burnout, but not sure if I'm ready to go back yet. And I have been receiving quite a few job application rejections. And interestingly enough, the people who have reached out to me from their side are like ghosting me. So I got this offer for a head of design position at a fintech company in Dubai with clients in Africa, and they want to hire a head of design with experience working in fintech and in Africa, which is, I mean, I fit the profile. And they reached out to me saying, could you send through your CV and portfolio and then we can book a call. I was like, great, yeah, here you go, here's my details. And they didn't say anything after that. So I reminded her and I was like, hey, just checking in, following up on this. And they still didn't reply, which is just, I feel so defeated. Like, if you are working in HR, put in the effort and be like, sorry, we found someone else, or actually, we don't think you match the profile. Like, don't just ghost me, especially if you're the one who reached out to me. So I feel very sad by that, but it must mean that that's not the position that the Lord wants me to be in. So I will trust in that and not be too upset about that. My apartment lease is ending at the end of next month, and I need to know, what am I gonna do with my life? Like, am I gonna stay here? Am I gonna, you know, renew my lease? Am I gonna buy property? Very tiring to think of these things.
Says KwaZulu-Natal residents should brace themselves for colder conditions.
I just arrived at my brother's house, and unbeknownst to me, he's busy doing a lot of renovations and stuff. So meet my brother. Hi.
How's it going?
What are you doing?
Polishing some brass at the moment, so it's got to be shiny.
Barry, what are these colored spray bottles for?
It's for color coding to prevent cross-contamination. So we've got a green for the kitchen, blue for the living areas, yellow for the bathroom, and red for the toilets, because you don't want to use your poop cloth in the kitchen where the food is.
But it's just the spray bottle. Why do you need to have multiple spray bottles?
Well, you still have color-coded cloths, and so I might as well have color-coded spray bottles as well. Okay. Yeah, so color-coding cloths as well, so don't use the dirty areas and the clean areas.
Thanks.
Sure.
Dank je dan, Japan dan. Wat heb je gekocht?
In Japan,
Waar in Japan? Wanneer?
Japan.
Is there something I need to know about Mumbo Island arrangements?
Yeah.
The taxi can drop you off at our reception in Cape Maclear, where you get the boat to the island. Basically, if you take the 10:30 boat to Mumbo, you will be on the 9:30 boat back to the mainland. So as I'm doing my research, I learned that the Zambian currency is called kwacha, but also the Malawian currency, which is an interesting fun fact. I should probably grab something to eat now before I head out to my grief course. I think it's the last week of the course and I hope there will be lots of snacks. Just going for the snacks, just kidding, just kidding. It's very important. I'm really missing my mom today. I was watching the show where this girl's mom had cancer and it just really reminded me of my mom's last few days. Yeah, grief is a weird thing. It's like it just hits you out of nowhere. It's been 2 years now. In fact, in 2 days, it's gonna be exactly 2 years. And I dream about her almost every night. I'm doing a course on grief at the church and it's been really helpful. Just understanding the process of grief and knowing that everyone goes through like a different experience of grief and it's okay if I'm still crying about it 2 years later. It's now 8:41. I just got home from the grief course at church. I did cry. It was very good. Just that you're able to talk to people who have been through the same thing was really good. And there were sausage rolls, so I had my dinner, my snacks. Yeah, I'm really grateful. So I'm looking forward to healing more from this. Also, the first rain of the season has arrived. I'm seeing a few raindrops here on my car windshield, which is such a nice feeling. I just love sleeping when it's raining, so I hope more rain will come because it was a little bit of a drizzle. So I'm gonna head to bed, but I just wanted to mention something that really stuck out for me from the grief course, and it was about reframing your thoughts. Like, what you think about is what you express, what comes out, right? So depression will, negativity will not attract happiness and nice people, but if you are joyful, you attract joyful and happy people. And that was so important for me because I realized the last like 2 years with all the nonsense that's been happening, it's very easy to fall into a victim mentality and just complain and be sad and everything. And I'm so lucky for the friends who have supported me through this and who have stayed and who have walked this path with me and who have prayed for me, because it's so easy to push people away when you're in a dark space because you tend to stay. You'll spiral and stay in that space, or at least I tend to do that. It takes a very long time to reframe your thoughts, and I mean, there's nothing positive per se that I can say about my mom's death, but I can take this situation, this thing that happened, and say I'm not gonna let this disrupt my entire life. Death is a part of life, and yes, I can grieve, I can mourn, I can talk about her, think about the memories, but it shouldn't consume me. The grief shouldn't consume me to the point that I can't enjoy things in life, because that's what my mom would have wanted, for me to continue being joyful and pursuing things and making friendships. That just really stuck out to me because I realized how I tend to spiral and sink into a depression. And as I was hanging up my laundry, yes, my second load of laundry for the day, I found myself like humming and singing, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I haven't done that for a while. And you can't be doing something joyful and be depressed at the same time, in the sense of like, you can't dance and sing happily while at the exact same time thinking about something really upsetting. And I think that is testament to my growth over the past year or two of going through this process of grief, that I'm getting to the point where while I'm doing laundry, I'm not crying and thinking about how bad my life is. I'm able to hum and sing and, you know, be mindful of, okay, right now I'm doing laundry. This is me being mindful right now. And then in the proper time and space where I can grieve, like writing in my journal, talking to a trusted friend, I don't let this grief consume every single moment of my day like it used to. That was a very long ramble, but I hope it makes sense, and I hope it means something to someone. Also, that you can get through the hard things, and in the moment it is it is literally impossible in the moment to believe that what you're going through will end. A few months ago, like June even, I was in such a dark space and I was like, this is never gonna get better. This is never gonna end. I give up, honestly. And if someone had told me at that point, just keep going, it's gonna get better, I was like, well, everything bad that could have happened has happened. How could this possibly get better? And it did. It took time. And people don't like hearing that because we're very impatient creatures. So it doesn't help if I tell you if you're going through a hard time. It doesn't help if I say it takes time, it will get better. But I want to show you that on the other side, there is light at the end of the tunnel. And it's been so hard for me. It's been about 3 years of burnout and grief and death and things breaking and things changing, and only now am I getting to a point where I'm like, I can breathe, I'm reaching, or I have reached the light at the end of the tunnel. I don't want to be all philosophical here, but if you do want me to share more about this and how I got to the light at the end of the tunnel, let me know in the comments and I'll be really happy to chat more about this. But yeah, I just thought I'd end off this video because it's fresh in my mind, having just done the course. I'm so tired. I'm gonna go sleepy now.
Nincs kedvencem, ahogy nincs kedvenc ételem sem.
És elindítom a kedvenc meséjét rajta.
Itt hoznám be azt, hogy általában azok a kazánbesztőn lesz képeni, akinek még nincs gyereke. Mert hogy ez...
Mentális egészségem, az én töltődésem az nincs rendben, akkor amúgy nagyon nehéz jó anyának lennem.
Favorite cleansing oil. I think it has gone viral online. Speedy cleansing oil from Softimo.